State power or federal power? That was the fundamental question that the Federalists and Antifederalists debated between 1787 and 1788 during the ratification of the new U.S. Constitution. Hi, I'm Mr. Ramage, and this video will give you a brief summary of the arguments made by both the Federalists and Anti-Federalists during this ratification process. The Articles of Confederation, America's first government, was on its way out and was being replaced by the new U.S. Constitution, drafted by 55 delegates, signed and approved by 39 of them in Philadelphia during the summer of 1787. Under the Articles, the federal government was too weak and proved to be ineffective. The new Constitution created a larger, more developed, and more powerful federal government. Not everyone agreed that this was the correct path for the nation. Many of the 16 delegates that declined to sign their names to the Constitution believed that this new government would trample the states' rights and rule like another King George. In order for the Constitution to become law, it needed to be ratified by at least 9 of the states. Things started out easy enough with Delaware ratifying in December 1788 and followed quickly by Pennsylvania, New Jersey, Georgia, and Connecticut. But soon a serious debate began to take place in other states, specifically Virginia, New York, and Massachusetts, which openly opposed ratification. The Anti-Federalists, as they would be known, had some serious reservations concerning the Constitution. They feared that the increase in federal power and authority would come at the cost of state power, and that the new executive was nothing more than a monarch in disguise. Anti-Federalists saw the Supreme Court as a danger to the authority of local courts, and that the much-debated necessary and proper clause would grant Congress too much power and authority. They also argued that a true republic could not exist at such a large level, and that the nation was simply trading one tyrant for another. However, the biggest argument raised by the Anti-Federalists was the absence of a Bill of Rights. This issue would place the approval of the Constitution in jeopardy. The Federalists, those who supported the ratification of the Constitution, went on the offensive, writing a series of essays arguing in favor of ratification and explained the reasons why a stronger government was necessary to the nation's very survival. These 85 Federalist papers, written by Alexander Hamilton, John Jay, and James Madison under the pseudonym Publius, made solid and reasonable arguments for ratification and addressed the concerns of the Anti-Federalists, who in response also began publishing papers using the pseudonyms Brutus, Cato, Sentinel, and Federal Farmer. The debate raged between both sides, and ratification of the Constitution appeared to be in jeopardy. A Bill of Rights was the main sticking point. Federalists argued that the Constitution did not require a Bill of Rights as it only limited government power and not the powers of the people. Anti-Federalists believed that a more powerful government would inevitably limit the rights of the people unless those rights were specifically stated. Eventually, compromise would come between the two sides, with James Madison surprisingly leading the negotiations. The state of Massachusetts would vote to ratify the Constitution on February 6, 1788, under the condition that the new Congress would consider amendments ensuring the rights of American citizens. After Massachusetts voted to ratify, Maryland, South Carolina, and New Hampshire followed, giving the Federalists the 9 states necessary to officially ratify the Constitution. Virginia then ratified in June, and New York followed in July, but North Carolina did not ratify until November 21, 1789, and Rhode Island until May 29, 1790. True to his word, on June 8, 1789, James Madison himself introduced to the United States House of Representatives a proposed Bill of Rights to be added to the Constitution. Of the 12 approved by Congress, 10 of those rights would be ratified by the states, and the Bill of Rights would become law. So there you have it. The compromise reached in Massachusetts gave the Federalists what they wanted, the ratification of a larger and stronger federal government, and the Anti-Federalists got a Bill of Rights, specifically listing rights, privileges, and protections for the American people. This debate was an essential event in creating our nation's government and the liberties that we value. I hope you enjoyed this summary, and I encourage you to explore this topic in much more detail. Take care, and I hope you learned something today.